What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we can finally look at all the new alternate arts from New Hero. They've been revealed. We actually have decent images, I think, of all of them. Certainly of most of them, and that makes me very, very happy indeed. So, let's go through in set list order because I don't know, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. And starting off with, and this is my chase card, it's Gamamon. I want me this Gamamon, ladies and gentlemen. This will be my second favourite alternate art card after the Pulsemon that came around in BT6. This is amazing. I don't entirely know why they've started giving alternate arts to these smaller Digimon, and I don't much care, because I absolutely love it. As for Gamamon itself, when you play a red tamer, you draw a card, and it's got an inheritable skill whereby if you got 6,000 power or more, delete an opponent's Digimon with 3,000 power or less. Very cool card, love the alternate art, this is the one for me. Now we also do have Hawkmoon coming in here as another smaller Digimon. You play it, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add a 2-color card with red to your hand, and put the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. It's quite nice for that little bit of extra consistency, but it's also a very cool alternate art. Now, Flamedramon nominally becomes the first alternate art dual-color Digimon, but just because it's chronologically first in the set. It digivolves in Vmon for a 2-cost. It's got that armor release skill that lets you essentially trash the level 4 and keep the level 3 rather than being deleted. And when you attack, you gain 3,000 power for the turn. Plus, it's a proper dual red-blue Digimon, and that's pretty cool. But if you want a blue-red Digimon, well, that's alright too, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got Houseman here, who is a dual blue and red Digimon, although can only digivolve from blue. That is pretty important. And you can digivolve from Hawkmoon for a 2-cost. It's got armor release, and when you are attacking, you can delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Pesky level 3 causing you problems? Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. It goes away. And then we finally actually get to a big Digimon, because we've only been looking at littler ones so far. We have got ourselves an alternate art of Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode. And let's face it, this was one of the ones we knew was going to have an alternate art. Big Digimon, big stats. It can digivolve from Dragon Mode for a 2-cost. So an example of digivolving a level 6 into a level 6. When you digivolve, you return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 power or less to their hand, which is going to be annoying for them, in their face. And when you're attacking once per turn, if you have a blue Digimon card, unsuspend one of your Digimon. If you have a green Digivolution card, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And yes, if you've got both, you get to do both. This is a very, very cool card indeed. This is one that people are going to be playing around with. Now, Armadillo Mon goes and gets an alternate art, and I do get the feeling here that a lot of the time these smaller Digimon actually have cooler alternate arts because they've got all the other Digimon on the card and they just look amazing. Here, it's another one of those, when you play it, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add a 2-color card with yellow to your hand. Now, this isn't a dual-color card, but it can digivolve from either yellow or blue, so it's not a million miles away. If, however, you want an actual dual-color yellow-blue Digimon, how about Magnum Mon? Magnum Mon here digivolves from Vmon for a 3-cost. You've got blocker, you've got armor release, and when you're digivolving, you unsuspend this Digimon. And for each card with armor in its stage in your trash, this Digimon gains 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, blocker, armor release, cheaper Digivolution, although to be fair, 3-cost is still not great. And then you get to have huge power. Sounds like kind of a fun little combo. But if you'd rather have a yellow-green Digimon, don't worry your pretty little head about it. We've got Rapidmon. Now, Rapidmon digivolves from Terriermon for a 3-cost. It's got armor release, and when digivolving you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each tamer you have in play, and then up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5,000 power for the turn. This is a phenomenal Digivolution skill, and one you should get pretty excited about. But if you don't want yellow-green, you'd rather have green-yellow, we got you sorted as well, ladies and gentlemen. We've got ourselves Digimon coming in here. Now, here you Digivolve from Armadillo Mon for a 2 cost, which is kind of cool. And you got Armor Release, which is kind of cool. And when you are attacking, one of your opponent's suspended Digimon loses 3,000 power for the turn. You will note that a lot of these dual color Digimon with Armor Release are slightly more expensive to Digivolve, but you can mitigate that by having this cheaper Digivolution cost if you Digivolve from a particular Digimon. And some of you may have noticed at this stage that we've gone past Pulsemon in the set, which means Pulsemon doesn't have an alternate art, and that makes me very sad indeed. But Shivamon does, and Shivamon is the card from this set that I am extremely excited about. While all of your Digimon are suspended, your opponent can't use option cards, and we got a whole bunch of ways in this particular set to suspend your green Digimon to get you bonuses, so there's a lot of support for this. And on your turn, when this Digimon unsuspends during your unsuspend phase like normal, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So if Shivamon is suspended, you have to go after it, because if you don't go after it, you are gonna lose the top card of your security for free, which is, not the kind of thing you want to do. Now, moving over into black, we've got a rather handsome alternate art coming in here for Ryudamon. Now, this is one of those Antibody cards. Antibody have gotten a whole bunch of support in this particular set. They did in BT8 as well, incidentally, so that's kind of cool. On play, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, and you add a Digimon card with Antibody in its type, and a Yuji Musha from among them to your hand, which is really good for consistency. And on all turns, while this Digimon has Antibody in its type, you gain Decoy Black. Although remember that one of the hooks of the Antibody deck, or line, or whatever you want to call it, is that you can place Digimon cards underneath it. So you can give this inheritable skill to a bunch of cards, and that's cool. But if you want to go a little bit bigger while staying in the same Digivolution line, wonderful news, because Arimon is coming in here with an alternate art, and this is one of the better alternate arts in the set. Which is saying something, because they're all pretty brilliant. And what we've got here is a huge level 6. When Digivolving, you can place a Digimon card with Antibody in its type under this Digimon. Told you that's what they did. Oh yeah, and then if you do, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. And on your turn, when you place a Digimon card under one of your Digimon as a Digivolution card, firstly, you get 2,000 power. That's huge. And secondly, you cannot be deleted by your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. So again, this is a very powerful Digimon that we should be playing around with. Now, Blackwall Greymon is one that, let's face it, it's a pretty popular Digimon. And we've got a dual colour black and red here. And when Digivolving, if there's a red card in your Digivolution cards, choose one of your opponent's Digimon. And then if there's a black card in your Digivolution cards, you can choose one of your opponent's Tamer. And you delete any number of chosen cards whose total play cost adds up to 6 or less. So yes, it is a little bit awkward in terms of phrasing, but it's one of the rare ways we've got to get rid of Tamers. That's pretty cool. And on all turns, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon are deleted, you can unsuspend and attack again, which seems kind of good, honestly. Now, moving over into purple, we've got a dual colour purple Digimon. We've got a Phanamon Fall Down mode coming in here. And you can Digivolve from a Phanamon for a 2 cost. And yes, that's another example of a 6 evolving into a 6. But when you Digivolve, if this Digimon has a purple Digivolution card, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And if it's got a yellow Digivolution card, recover 1. And recovery is nuts, we all know this. And yes, like we said a moment ago, if you've got both a purple and a yellow Digimon in your Digivolution cards, or a dual colour purple-yellow, and there are some of those around, you get to do both, which is great. Oh yeah, and then on deletion you play a purple or yellow level 4 or lower Digimon without paying its memory cost, and oh look, it's another way to play Houseman for free. There are other options obviously, but let's face it, we're going to be going for Houseman here. I don't think that's a controversial statement. Now, staying in purple, we've got another big level 6. We've got Malo, my Mon, who incidentally, from this angle, looks way different to the main card. But also, man, that's amazing alternate art. And what we've got here is when you play it, if you've got 5 or more cards with my Mon in their name in your trash, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, and trash the top card of their security. And yes, it is any unsuspended Digimon. If you can get enough Mon in your trash, and let's face it, purple love to South Mill, this is nuts. And then when Digivolving, you trash the top 5 cards of your deck, and then if you have a card with Mon in its name in your trash, gain a memory. I'm going to be honest, the play skill here excites me way more than the Digivolution skill. Now, I called Chimeramon one of the most exciting cards we've seen in a long time when I looked at it the other day, and I meant that. Firstly, it is a rainbow evolution cost, meaning it can Digivolve from anything. But the best thing about this card, as far as I'm concerned, is you can Jogress evolve with any 2 level 4s. Any 2 level 4s can become Chimeramon. And I told you in the video, but I'm going to repeat it now. Find any 2 level 4s with jamming. They won't be deleted when you attack the stack, and then you can Jogress evolve into Chimeramon for 0 cost and attack again. That's ridiculous. But also, when Digivolving, you may place a level 5 or lower Digimon from the trash at the bottom of your Digivolution cards. Yes, that means any non-level 6 with any inheritable skill can give it to Chimeramon, which is nuts. And then up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1,000 power for each colourless Digimon has. So basically, if you've got 4 colours, they all get minus 4,000, which is ridiculous. And on your turn, you are also treated as the colour of all of the cards in your Digivolution cost, and if you've got 4 or more, you gain 4,000 power, which you should, so you can Jogress evolve from any 2 level 4s for no memory, and then you've got a 12,000 power Digimon. This is absolutely, utterly ridiculous. I expect this to be a phenomenal card that gets teched into a whole bunch of decks, because you can. And then it won't surprise anyone to know that both of the secret rares do get alternate arts here. So Damon, or Creepymon apparently it's in English, according to the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev. And I can't remember if I've said this or not, but they do provide our translations. They are awesome. Although Damon is such a great name that if it is actually Creepymon, that's genuinely upsetting. But when you Digivolve, trash 2 cards on the top of your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon. And then if 4 or more cards were trashed, you can play a level 5 or lower from your trash for free. Do be careful, South Milling can be fun, purple love playing from the trash, but there is a limit. And when you are attacking once per turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, you trash 3 cards on the top of your opponent's deck, and you get 3,000 power for the turn. And look, trashing 3, 6, 9 cards on the top of your opponent's deck is unlikely to lead to a win by milling very fast. But remember, every card that you trash from their deck is a card they can't use. If you can get off a couple of attacks with this, you could cripple your opponent's deck. And then finally, we got the alternate art of Imperial Dramon Paladin Mode. Big old level 7 Digimon. When one of your Digimon Digivolves into it, you may return a white level 7 from your trash to the bottom of your deck to reduce the cost by 4. It's a free cost to Digivolve, that's crazy cheap. Also at 16,000 power, the most powerful Digimon we've ever seen, without any kind of multipliers. I know you can boost the power of a bunch of Digimon, but I mean the natural printed cost on the card, this is number 1. And when Digivolving or attacking, not limited to once per turn, you may return a 2-colour card from this Digimon's Digivolution card to the bottom of its deck, to trash all the Digivolution cards from one of your opponent's Digimon, and then return all your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom of their opponent's deck. This builds up super quickly. This can wreck your opponent's board, and it's the most powerful Digimon around. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot. 18 for anyone that's keeping count, and yeah, that means it's going to be more difficult to pull the one that you want, and that sad boo hiss, etc. But mostly, I want that Gammamon. I managed to pick up the Pulsemon from BT8. Obviously, it's the best alternate art they've done. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm falling in love with Gammamon. And I know that Digimon TCG is pushing it hard. We've had so many cards, and it's only just been revealed as a Digimon. But I'll be honest with you, Gammamon's adorable, and I love him. So yeah, I'm going to be getting that one. I would, however, love to hear which is your favourite, which of these you're going to be going after, which of these you can't wait to pull. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.